Expectations can be a joy thief. And most of the time, we don't even realize that they are operating at all. What we don't often immediately realize is that most of the expectations are completely unconscious. We could be walking around feeling disappointed, flat, frustrated, or somehow a little bit off, and not realize what is really going on. Perhaps you've got some unrealistic expectations that are working in the background. Stay with me to explore how expectations can take away joy, how to recognize when you have an expectation operating, and how to shift that experience without needing to stop caring, to downsize your goals, or giving up entirely. If you're now a week into your New Year goals, or you have watched my first video about starting the year or the quarter with kindness, this is a really good moment to check in with yourself, especially if you're not feeling as energized as you had been. And this is not to assess how well you think you're doing or to put a measuring stick against your progress, but to notice something else, and that is whether there are any expectations that have snuck in. Maybe you expected yourself to feel more motivated by now. Maybe you thought things would be more clearer, more consistent by now. Or maybe you expected momentum to feel smoother or confidence to arrive sooner. And if that hasn't happened, it does not mean that you have failed or are not on track. It doesn't mean you have done anything wrong. It usually just means that you care and that there might be something else going on. Expectations often form when something matters to us. The issue isn't that we have expectations. They can be great, like a guiding light to where we want to be headed. It's that we don't always notice how they start to shape how we think or feel about ourselves, let alone how we might speak to ourselves. The sneaky and frustrating thing about expectations is that you don't automatically recognize an expectation as the cause of an uncomfortable or an unwanted feeling. They feel like reality. They feel logical. They feel like things aren't quite going how I thought they would. So there must be something I am not doing right. You know, it's like you plan a day out, a holiday, spend so much time organizing it, and when you're actually there, you're managing or evaluating it instead of enjoying it. It could be the unconscious expectation that you've invested so much time and energy into this thing. It should feel worth it. Or you have a free afternoon, or maybe a whole weekend that feels open and spacious. Then at some point, a heaviness creeps in. The rest isn't wrong. I mean, the number of times I have to remind myself of that, a little bit ridiculous. It could be the unconscious expectation that time should always be productive and meaningful, and perhaps viewed in a very narrow way. Or you are moving towards your goal, learning in action and showing up, but there is a pressure. It could be the unconscious expectation that you think you should be further along than what you are. Progress becomes invisible where it's filtered through timeline pressures, or you create something but hesitate to post or show it off, thinking, can I really share this? Is it really polished enough? It could be the unconscious expectation of an outcome standard that has not been met. You think, on paper there is nothing wrong, but the joy element is missing. And often it's not the what actually happened that hurts or causes discomfort, but it's what didn't happen. This is a scenario I am very familiar with. I'll be diligently working on tasks that I set myself on a given day, and I notice that as the working day gets closer towards the end, I can start to feel a sense of frustration if I have not ticked off most of the things that is on that list. I know myself well enough that I have this stubborn expectation that everything should be done quickly, done well, and all done. In my head, I know that an item takes the time that it takes. However, my body tells me something completely different. It can leave me feeling angsty about what I have or haven't attended to in that day. In the beginning, I had to really sit with that feeling and get curious about what the cause was. Whereas now, I stop, pause, and just know and breathe into it and let it go. I've noticed, and maybe you have as well, that those expectations usually leave clues. One sign is when your emotional reaction feels bigger than what the moment would usually warrant. A short reply feels like rejection. A quiet day feels like falling behind. A small delay feels unsettling. Another sign is the language that you use to yourself that you might pick up. This should be easier. I should feel more motivation in this. I should be further along by now. The word should is pointing us towards that unspoken contract. And as I shared with my story, the body is another really good indicator. How does it feel? Tension in the shoulders, shallow breathing, a sense of holding or bracing, and presence. Well, that has just flown out the window. So instead of being with the goal or in the moment, you're measuring, comparing, or waiting for the next thing to arrive or be done. So you can feel good, satisfied, accomplished. But these expectations don't just create disappointment, frustration, they also remove joy from the present moment. It might have you be so focused on completing a project or reaching a goal that the acknowledgement of the effort to get there is forgotten. Sometimes when you reach a progress marker or goal, there's no sense of arrival, but there is the pressure to keep going. I mean, joy lives in the present moment, whereas expectations pull your attention somewhere else. And letting go of those expectations doesn't mean you stop wanting things or setting big goals for yourself. Forward momentum is good, it's healthy. Letting go means you stop confining life to unfold in a specific or certain way in order for you to feel okay. If you notice a feeling that's not sitting well with you, if it's frustration, disappointment, a helpful question might be to ask yourself, what was I hoping for in this that I didn't realize that I was hoping for? And then followed up perhaps by, can I meet this moment as it is and just let it be as so? Or can I zoom out and see a bigger picture here? So the next time that joy might feel like it's missing for you, it might be worth asking the question, am I holding on to an expectation that something should be a certain way? It's a question that I'm finding real value in having asked. And just sit with the question and see if something shifts. Let me know in the comments what your experience is with expectations. But for now, go and find yourself some joy.